Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with Books and
Irregular Wetches.
I'm Kristen, and with me I have
Erica.
Maria. It's a game show host today.
I know, and honestly, it's spooky season, so I like the weird vibes that you're presenting right now.
I want spooky skeletons.
No,
to play.
copyright.
It's going to be copyrighted.
You can't do that. This
Spooky skeletons.
I think even if you sing it.
I don't think so.
I just want you to stop singing. This is a book podcast. Believe it or not, we talk about books. We swear, we spoil, we talk about sex, and we suck at all of it. So,
I love this. Is that what we're saying now?
You came up with it. So,
Is that what I said?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you want to change it?
That's
no,
fine.
No,
I was
we're
just
still in the
curious.
early stages.
I was just curious. That was
we can shop this around.
Yeah. We're just,
Oh, I thought it was and we suck.
Yeah, but I think and we suck at it.
But it's like that's so ambiguous.
What are we sucking? You know,
Everything.
Speak for
Maybe
yourself,
you.
ma'am. Speak for yourself.
Honestly, it just means that we're like not like we just don't want high expectations going into this. That's all.
Keep them
want you
super
to-
low.
We want to lower
Yeah.
everything.
Every expectation.
And then when you
have, lower
complain
it.
about it, we can come back with, well, we fucking told you
We
so.
told
that it
you.
sucks.
And that's it. That's it.
So I've made some new friends with my new hobbies, right? And I told one of them is like reading, like she reads or whatever, and I was like, oh, if you like want to read or listen to our podcast, you can. I'm very bad at telling people about our podcast, but I was like, if you're looking for one, you can do ours. But like we suck at it, and if you hate it, don't tell me.
There you go.
So
See,
that's
like,
what
that's
I'm
not
telling
what
all
I
of
say
you.
to people.
If you hate it, don't tell me.
Yeah.
I don't say that to people. I say it's not safe for work.
Yeah, I always say it's
It-
not
I
for
should
work.
say that.
I always say
lead with that.
NSFW.
Yeah.
And then I go, it's kind of explicit, and we definitely talk about adult things.
Yeah, I always lead with
And it's a
I
comedy
never say that.
podcast.
I
Yeah.
never
So it's
say
just
that.
like girls chatting. And
I always say it's just chaos.
Oh, pure.
no, you need
Pure
to like
chaos.
lead with an NSFW.
I'm gonna do that now. From now, I don't talk about it anyway.
Well, on that note, this week we're talking about a book that I always forget the title of because
A
it's
Very
so
Secret Society of Irregular Witches.
by who?
No, The Very Secret Society. Sorry.
Bebop.
By Sangu Mandanna.
Okay.
So
I could not remember. her
top
name.
line before we get
I
into
can't remember any author's name.
before we get
I knew
into
that's why I read it.
60 seconds before we get into anything. Top line, I really enjoyed this book.
5 stars.
5
All
stars.
around.
I gave it only 4.
It's a
That's
4.5.
a little rude.
But I'm
A
just
little rude.
I'm
I-
bumping it to 5 anyway.
I have my reasons, but I really, really enjoyed this book. It was very cozy, gave me Legends and lattes vibes,
Yeah.
but with witches.
Legends and lattes.
This can be put next to Legends and Lattes.
Yes.
Not getting on with gargoyles.
Yes.
The only thing that like I wish was slightly different about this book was I wish that it was like 50 pages shorter.
I could agree with that.
Okay.
I could definitely agree with that.
All right.
I didn't
Because
think
I think it's more accessible when they're shorter.
I didn't think you were going to like this, Erica. I thought this was going to be too slow for you. I really did. I thought like maybe the romance wouldn't be enough.
I think you.
I don't know you.
You
Yeah.
do know her. I think you
I
expect
know
I
her,
think you
but I
just
don't get her
expect me
read.
to-
the same thing out of her every time. I thought she
Yeah.
would enjoy it. I didn't think she'd give it 5 stars.
I didn't think she would give it 5 stars. That's what I should have
Like I thought she would find the twist at the end to be kind of lazy.
Typically when I give 5 stars out, I rate it before I finish the book.
Wow.
Oh,
So when did you
That's
give the 5 stars?
that's a
hot take.
hidden secret of mine. If I really, really like a book, I will rate it 5 stars before I even finish it.
Interesting.
I will go into Goodreads.
I don't
would
do
you
that,
change it
but
if
I
you hate
do
it at the end?
say I do
No,
say
most
this
likely
is
not.
on the verge of 5 stars unless something drastic happens.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I'm at a 5 star right now. So that's what was happening with Part of Your World.
Oh.
By 50%, I was saying this is a 5 star for me.
Yeah.
The only way it changes if it's something stupid happens at the end that I'll
Yeah,
get mad
exactly. Like
at. So by 50%, I was already like
'cause
at
I've
5
read
stars.
so many books that I know how most of these books are going to end.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah, true, true.
you kind of already
Mhm.
so once I hit that 80% and I see where the conflict is
Yeah.
and we're like getting there and I'm like I know where this is probably gonna
Yeah.
and unless I really hate it, which most times I don't,
Mhm.
I usually give space for the resolution to happen.
Yeah.
I usually I know by 80% whether or not.
Well, I'm happy. I'm happy you gave it 5 stars. This is one of the ones that I brought to the table. I will say it came from my sister-in-law. She had mentioned that like witch books, and I was like, we have to do. How have we not done a witchy book? Not knowing that gargoyles would eventually have witches in it. But I was just saying, like, we didn't have something that was definitely going to be a witch book. So I was really excited to have a witch book for our Halloween vibes. Because witches are I know one of my favorites. I know they're yours.
You know what? There's not a lot of books that have witches in them that are like really, really good.
I agree.
Done well.
That are done well.
Totally agree.
The witches are just, I don't know,
this is
something
so
about
good.
it.
The magic is so, I can't wait to talk about it because that's my favorite thing about this
There's
book.
something about
so
witch
well
books
done.
that always are so slow and boring and
or they're
fall
stereotypical
flat,
and they don't feel like they have a genuineness of witches, as in like how you see them today, like actual Wiccans out in the world.
Yes,
they are very rooted in nature. I feel like a lot of times when we're reading witch books, it's just like magic and only, and there's no like relation back to nature and how it's done today.
So good. Okay,
I loved it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So should we get into
doing it?
I'm doing it.
Yeah, you brought this book to the table.
Okay. What?
I also loved her name,
Micah.
Micah Moon.
Micah Moon.
Mika.
Oh, I read it as Micah.
Can I have your?
So
no, I got it.
You got it. Never mind, Chris.
All right, here we go. If you're new to this podcast, we attempt to do this thing where we explain an entire plot summary of a book in 60 seconds or less. Unfortunately, you're stuck with me this week, and oh man, this is gonna be tough. Actually,
got it.
It's not gonna be tough.
Keep it bare bones.
You're
bare bones.
All right, here we go. Count me in.
Okay.
3, 2.
Mika is a witch, and she's been living in normal society, but witches are not really allowed to interact with humans because of the bad rep that they'll get, and they'll be used. Mika has been brought up by this woman, Primrose, because a long time ago there was a curse that happened that anytime a witch is born, her parents would die, and they live in whatever, foster care. Mika has a YouTube channel where she pretends to be a witch, even though she really is, but that's the only way she can really show her powers. And somebody contacts her that live in this house, the nowhere house, where there's these 3 little witches that are learning how to be witches, and they need somebody to come teach them. So Mika goes to this place, nowhere house, meets Jamie, this grumpy man who's protecting these girls, and a lot of shit happens where she teaches the witches, and there's a woman named Lillian who protects them, but she's away all the time. Turns out she's dead. Primrose is her twin sister, and yeah, Mika helps them and saves the world. Pretty much. That's it. I don't know.
You did great.
I don't really remember
everything.
Mostly everything.
I don't really remember what
the main conflict was that Lillian is away, right, and her solicitor
That's right.
is coming to get some paperwork, but the girls, because witches are not allowed to live together, their magic.
Is this solicitor just a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because their magic, the more witches together, the more the magic is, mischievous and like does manifests a lot more. They're afraid that the solicitor's going to find out these girls are witches, and then there's going to be a whole problem, get them separated, because they're all 3 of them are orphans.
So I'm used to like a weak plot, like for some of this. Like I've read a lot of books, right? So like sometimes I read a plot and I go, okay, like sure, like I'll bite, right? And that was kind of this one when I first started. I was like, really? Like they brought her all the way over here to just like, because of this one solicitor, they could have just like taken them out for a fucking walk or something. Right? Like I was like, okay, this is like
meet at a coffee shop.
Like this is a little like weak, whatever. And I was like, I'll bite. Let's keep going. But I loved the plot twist here. And the plot twist was that it wasn't just that. It was that they needed her to do more because Lillian was actually
to
dead.
pretend to be Lillian.
They needed her. They needed her magic to maybe like
cast a cloaking spell,
some type of spell, because they needed to trick the solicitor that Lillian was not
still
dead.
alive.
So for this world, basically what happened was many, many, many years ago, witches and humans coexisted normally. And I forget what spell. There's 53 witches. And they tried to do a spell.
And it backfired.
And it created a curse, essentially, where anytime a witch was born, was it the mom would die or
parents
both?
would die.
The parents would die.
Parents would die.
I thought that was crazy.
How sad.
It was sad. So
it felt like practical magic.
Yeah.
Where in practical magic, you couldn't fall in love. Any woman who fall in love from that family line, the lover would die.
That's so wild. I love stuff like that. I think that's cool. So she
I don't know why we didn't do practical magic for this season. I fucking love that movie.
But the thing that I didn't say was like
Big
she
mess.
wasn't allowed to be around other witches.
No.
So the only time they would meet is
Every
this
3 months.
secret society.
Every
that they would
third
call.
month and the third week, like
Yeah.
Every third Thursday of a
third
month.
month. I love the way this book was written.
Yeah.
I thought it was so different.
Here's where
I heard it in British.
Me
It
too.
is.
Me too.
I was
I
getting
know
there.
it's British,
I'm
but
getting
I
there.
heard it in.
Yeah.
It was written in British.
I love British authors.
Me
I
too.
love British books. There's a way that British books
Elegant.
are written,
Yes.
not just elegant, but it's almost like the narrator can. This is written.
It's
in third
almost
person.
like proper English.
Don't say that, because then Kate and I will keep arguing about how she's always right because she has freaking good English. Anyway, I made so when I first started this book, I started it physically, right? And I said, I don't know why I need to listen to the audiobook real quick just to see. And the narrator was British, and I go, that's it. I'm
That
in.
makes sense.
I'm in because
British.
the British narrator has the inflections where the dry British humor comes across so well.
I heard it.
Also,
read
Jamie is from Belfast, so he has an Irish accent.
Yes.
And the narrator did the Irish accent for the book.
Yes. Oh, it was really, really well
She
written.
lives in Brighton, United Kingdom, which I visited with Kate. It's one
Oh,
of my
really?
prettiest. It's one of the prettiest towns. It's like a seaside town.
I love
It's
that.
so beautiful, and I want to go back.
When I reread this book, inevitably, I will purchase the audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
same.
I read it the first time, you guys talked it up so much that I would not like it that I was like, all right, I'm
What
not
do
going
you
to waste.
guys? I didn't
I
say
think it was
nothing.
just me.
I was
It's
like,
just
I'm not going to waste a credit if I'm not going to like it. And then I listened to it in I listened and I was like, it's British. And I was like, sometimes that can go one way or another. And I was like, if I'm
It
already
goes
not
Well,
going
that's
to
why
like,
I didn't think you were gonna like the writing because it's just so different than all the other things.
It's
that
so much better.
I think you just don't know.
It
I
has-
don't.
everything
it has-
I
I
read.
don't. I'm sorry for assuming.
It has charisma. It has
Yeah.
like
Cozy.
it's cozy.
cute,
It's fun.
fun.
She's fun. She is like what I picture every author when they write a pick me character. She's it because she's like different, but different in the way that like you want somebody to be different, like naturally different. Like she's just like a little quirky and a little weird.
I love
and
that
like
she has
a little
YouTube
out there,
channel.
and like
I think that's so funny.
she says things that are like a little strange, and you're
Yeah.
like, this is
Mika?
yeah.
She felt normal to me.
she was
No, she's a
normal,
little
but
weird.
But I love that she
She's
had
a little weird.
like she had a way to.
No,
To,
she
you know,
seems so normal to
She was
me.
pretty normal, but she was a little quirky. I think in some
she
ways.
said like weird things sometimes, and like
I don't think she said
she was
anything
quirky.
weird. I think
I
she
just
was
read it
normal.
last night.
I understand what you said, but as my opinion is that she felt normal to me.
Well, when she gets asked to go to Nowhere House, let's go to when she arrives to Nowhere House, right? It's 3 girls. I just want to like get into the storyline. So it's these 3 girls that are learning their math. They were not really learning. They're just kind
No
of
one was
existing.
teaching them.
Yeah, no one was teaching them. At the house, we have Ian. Is it Ken?
Ken is his husband.
Ian and Ken are married. They're the best couple. There's
their 80s.
Lucy.
Lucia, I think.
Lucia. She's the
Housekeeper.
housewife. Or housekeeper, not housewife. And then Jamie.
Librarian.
I love Jamie's character. I really did. And I didn't
He's
think
a
I
little
would.
grump.
But
Why
he's
would
cute.
somebody hire a librarian for
He
a
wasn't
house?
hired.
He wasn't hired. So he
was
was taken
brought
in
in.
by Lillian
When he was like 12.
when he was young.
Yeah, but like, what does he do for money?
What
Did you not read it last night?
No, I did, but like he's the librarian.
Yeah, so
He
they
sources
have
books and
they have a
stuff.
bunch of books in their library that a lot of
It's like online.
academics
Yeah.
use. And
Yes.
they're rare. So they pay. I'm assuming people are paying to get
That's
these
what I was
copies of the
curious.
book.
And he
So you
photocopies
think
them.
that that's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that's the business.
Mhm.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
And then I don't
Okay.
think they have to work much because Lillian's out in the world and being an archaeologist.
Okay.
I'm sure all her money's coming
Well, no,
into this house.
you have 4 people that live in this house and kind of seem like they have made up jobs.
They do.
And
and then
Ken's a gardener. That's not made up.
they live.
Well, no, but I'm saying like Lillian, like what does Lillian pay for? You know what I mean? Like,
Probably the whole house.
no, I know, but I'm just saying like
How
as
much-
I'm reading
How
it,
much
I was
more
like,
money's coming in monthly to cover the expenses?
yeah, like
gotcha.
what are we doing here? Are they getting
well, there's
paid?
also a
Are
lot
they
of
just,
magic that we have to keep in mind. So when Micah, I keep want to say
Mika.
Micah. When Mika gets there, she notices there's a very strong ward. So obviously Lillian is a very strong witch for her to be able to cast this, but she's gone all the time. So Jamie, Ken, Ian, they're the ones that are kind of like manning the house. So Mika immediately has a little bit of a connection with Jamie. I mean, he's an asshole to her because he's just protective. He's protective of the girls. And this whole time she thinks she's just like teaching them, falls in love with the house, continuously. This is the thing that I didn't really like too much, was like it's hammered in that she doesn't trust people because she was
never
brought
really
up,
loved.
which I get. Like she was brought up, she was used a lot, but like it was a lot of just continuously being told that, and I was like, okay.
I think it's in the sense for these kind of books, it's
like that's where we could have cut out.
It's hammered in a lot.
Yeah.
To emphasize to us why she can't just give in right
Which
away.
I totally get it.
I understand too. But
I understood that the first time. Let me as the reader, like, you know
understand
what I mean?
from the beginning, like, hey, I remember you said that 200 pages ago.
Yes.
It's fine.
I get it. That drove me nuts after a while. But eventually, you know, her wards start to fall down. She starts to get with Jamie before this twist happens where Jamie comes clean.
A couple of times where she had like they were regularly meeting at night to like drink up in her room.
Yeah.
Which was fine. I was like, okay, yeah, for sure. And then like one time they were having a conversation and it took like a hard left into like
the past.
She was like, you make Terracotta mean to me and blah. And I was like,
it's your fault.
whoa. I was like, this is like, there was a couple of moments in the dialogue that turned hard.
Yeah.
And I was like, where the fuck is this? Like, why are we taking this left right now?
Well,
like,
Terracotta was probably one of my favorite characters. You're talking about the girls?
Yeah.
Can I read it?
So to me, that if there was a weak part of this book, it was the dialogue.
Okay, that's
fair.
fair.
It was dialogue in
not
general.
Terracottas.
Yeah,
Terracotta was spot on
the
every
three girls. What are their names? Oh boy, they're very like longer names.
Terracotta, Altamira,
and
and there's three young girls.
yeah, Terracotta.
Is there with an I?
It was an R.
R?
Rosetta.
I knew it was an R.
Okay, so we had Terracotta, Rosetta,
Altamira.
and Altamira. Okay, those are the three girls.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact Terracotta was your favorite.
Terracotta is me, everybody. I am Terracotta.
Read the line.
I'm reading. So Terracotta is the one that doesn't want Mika there. Altamira and Rosetta are like all about it. They're like, yeah, let's have a witch teach us. Yay, witch! I think Terracotta is the oldest, isn't she?
She's the oldest.
Remember, yeah.
So.
But she's the closest with Jamie.
Yes, because Jamie doesn't trust this whole thing, because Jamie didn't want Mika to be called, but Ian convinced them, because Ian can tell. Ian's mother was a witch, so Ian can tell that Mika actually has powers, and, you know, the whole thing that we explained earlier. So Terracotta comes down in a black dress.
She like 12 maybe?
I think she's like
She's
10.
like channeling
10,
Wednesday Addams.
Wednesday Addams fully. So Mika says, like, that's a lovely dress Mika offered. Terracotta beamed. Thank you. I'm wearing it because I might be going to a funeral later. You might be. She slipped nimbly into her chair, apparently satisfied with that her outfit had been duly noted. Yes, it depends. And I think it depends on what. I think it's on you. And I'm like,
she threatened to kill her like 7 different times.
So then Mika goes, how would you do it? She asked curiously. I was thinking it would be
that's
best.
weird.
Oh, I love that.
I love it. It's
yeah.
adorable.
But I'm saying like those are weird responses.
It's British.
Oh, it's just her being like, yeah. Okay,
I was thinking it would be best to do it in your sleep, Terracotta replied without batting an eye. Then you wouldn't even notice. I'm competent, but I'm not cruel. Like
that's you.
I've done that before.
I love their vibes. The magic though was my absolute favorite.
I liked how she described it as like being mischievous and having
a mind of its own.
Honestly, like having almost a conscience.
Yeah. It's like the
And
shadows in the Bargainer
Yes.
series.
Yeah.
Like they have a personality.
Being what's the word? Sentient, yes.
And she also has to like catch moon stars and stuff and like
it was fun.
moonbeams.
Which
and
would be me.
Yeah.
I would be in the middle of a field
I
grabbing the
pictured
moon.
you a lot in this book, Maria.
I love this book.
It really reminded. Oh, one thing that I love too that the author did was she told us exactly what the characters looked like. So if it was a white person, she would say, this white man, whatever, or this black woman, or this Asian character. And I was like, I like when we don't have to.
It wasn't like she had chocolate skin. Or like it wasn't described in like
weird,
any
it wasn't ambiguous.
Yeah.
weird way. It was nope. They're
Correct.
black. They're
Yep.
Asian. They're white. They're this. They're that. Like
Yep.
it was
Yep.
what it was.
I really appreciated
And
that.
we had strong black characters. We had strong white characters. We had strong, you know what I mean? So, like Asian characters. Ken was Asian.
Was our
Love
main
Ken.
character? She was Indian.
I believe she was Indian.
Yeah.
Indian.
I really liked her a lot.
I think
She's
she was
from
from
India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
She's from India. Rosetta was black.
Yeah. The 3 girls were black.
I don't think all 3 of them were black. No. I think Altamira was
thought they were
from.
all-
I thought
Altamira was
Asian.
Asian.
Oh,
I think Terracotta was white, and I think Rosetta was black.
Or
Oh.
she was Pakistani, I think.
I don't know. We
I thought
got a
it
lot of
was.
representation.
Yeah, a ton.
And I loved that she related that back to being a witch and not being able to show your true self. She was kind of like, I know what it's like to have like, you know, different ways that I can't really be myself in public. And even Ian and Ken being a gay couple, there was just a lot of representation.
Terracotta might have been
Pakistani, right?
Pakistani.
I think so.
Because I remember a line of Mika being like, I'm not gonna like tell her how to be
herself because
herself
Yes, that's
in
the
her
one.
skin just because we have the same skin tone.
Yes.
Yes.
And I was like, I thought the representation in this book is exactly what, when people talk about representation, this is what that looks like. That's not in your face. That's not like,
there's there's reasons behind it.
like,
yeah.
I don't know, like
It just feels normal.
Not to put it in just to put it in.
It's just real
put
world.
it, yeah, to
It
put it
feels
in, to
real
put it
world.
in.
Yeah.
It's not like spewing a narrative.
Yeah.
It's not like doing anything except representing people as they are.
Exactly. It just felt real.
especially in the British setting where colonizers.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they have so much within
right.
the British
I mean,
Empire.
even the representation of like Belfast too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's different pieces of this. The fact that Ian and Ken were gay, like you kind of had like little pieces of
And even
everything.
mentioning how they weren't allowed to be together, but
Yes.
they've been together for
Exactly.
so long.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
The twist in this, so Primrose, obviously Mika talks about Primrose a lot because she was raised by her. Primrose, I didn't think that she was ever bad. I know that she was
just stern
she was
and
stuck in her
strict.
ways.
Yeah.
She was an old lady, an old witch who was very protective in a way.
She
you
just
know?
wanted everyone to be safe.
I get it. So Primrose, anytime she would bring it up, I love how the girls were always like, we don't like her or whatever.
Damn, Primrose.
But then there's Lillian, who's gone all the time and not even helping the girls. Well, the twist, as it turns out, she wasn't gone. She was dead.
Dead.
And they buried her
under the
ass in the
sunflowers.
yard. I fucking love this twist so much. So like,
I didn't see
it
that
felt very
coming.
much like practical magic.
I didn't.
under the rose bush.
I thought the same thing as you.
I thought Primrose was Lillian.
Yeah, Erica
I didn't
texted
get
our
this.
group.
I don't know how you both got it.
Because she was gone, and I was like, and they
Yeah.
don't know what she looks like, and they kept bringing her up, and I was like,
I don't know why.
their reaction to
I
it
don't
is
know why.
making me
So
think.
at
And then
one
when
point-
Peony came in, I was like, maybe it's her sister. But then they said Peony, and then I was like,
So
Yeah.
when
that's
Peony,
not really like
they
close
were saying
enough.
that
Maybe it's another sister.
Yeah.
they were saying that Lillian had a sister named Peony, right?
Yeah.
And my thought was like, why is everyone named after a flower kind of thing? Like it didn't register in my head. And then when we finally realized that Lillian and Primrose are twin sisters,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
And I love how Primrose, when she showed up, there was still that moment where she was like, well, I'm still going to take these girls and like separate them. Because you're kind of like, oh shit, like this actually might happen. And is eventually convinced that they can live there and it be okay. And then she ends up pretending to be Lillian to the solicitor so that he can be like, okay, everything's fine. But it's funny because they like locked him in a shed beforehand, and
Well,
she
they
had
didn't
to
get there in time.
Yeah, they didn't get there in time, and she had to like erase his memory. I don't know. It was a whole thing. The twist was really fun and cute, and I just love that in the end, Primrose was just like, I'll be back to like check on you because you're my nieces, and like it was just really cute. I thought it was super cozy in the end.
Yeah.
And her and Jamie end up together.
Yes.
Yep.
Did they kiss?
They had a sex scene.
I forget what the sex scene was. Was
No
it good?
sex scene.
It was good.
Oh yeah, it was I do remember that
was
now.
cute.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was
just
surprised when it happened. I thought we wouldn't have like an open door.
I didn't
sex
think
scene.
we would too.
So I was like, oh, it's like that
fun.
now.
And it was written perfectly.
It was not like super open.
No, but it was like open door in a way where like
Yeah.
I loved it. It was exactly what I want every sex
Not
scene
too
to be.
much, not
where
too
you're not
little.
using the C word and all the words that
The
are
P word.
the words that make me go. I loved it. I thought it was beautifully done, and that's how we should do every sex scene moving forward.
But yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I like the girls. I like the magic. I liked all of the characters. I like the plot twist. Like there was very few things that there were things I disliked. I thought there was like I said, the dialogue.
Yep.
I think wasn't
I agree with
the
that.
way that she needed to move information within the dialogue. She didn't do subtly enough
Okay.
for me, which is fine. That's not enough to take like full points off.
No, I
you know what
agree.
I mean. So
Okay.
it didn't take away from my reading experience.
Yep.
I think this, she's a POC author, so that's always a plus.
There's a fun thing in the back of the book where it says
in.
questions for discussion. I think we could rip through these really fast and just get your thoughts. What 3 words would you use to describe Mika as a character?
Whimsical.
Whimsical? That's one.
I'd
Oh,
say,
we all-
I'd
I guess
say
all 3.
resourceful.
Resourceful is a good one.
Yeah.
Witchy.
That's
Nailed it.
the worst.
Prior to coming to Nowhere House, Mika lived a lifestyle that meant she never stayed in one place. Why do you think she chose to live her life like that? How do you think that changes over the course of the book? I mean, that's pretty obvious. That's the thing that I think they hit us in the head over with.
Over and over.
And that's actually where I took a point off. Like, that's why I have a 4.5 instead of a 5, was because it just, like, if I'm starting to notice it and it's taking me out of the book, like, I think that's not what
I
you
don't
want.
need to know how distrusting she is.
Exactly.
Every single page.
And then I think the most important one on this whole list is the last one I'm going to do is, if you had the opportunity to adapt the novel into a film or TV show, who would your ideal cast be?
I'm so bad at this. I don't know
I didn't
actors.
have time. I didn't really think about it at all, dude. You're right.
I don't know actors.
Let's just do Jamie, because that's who I keep thinking about.
I just think of Jamie Dorian.
I was just going to say that from Game of
Dornan.
Thrones.
No, Jamie
Oh.
Dornan.
I thought you said Jamie. Oh, no, I'm thinking of Jamie
Christian
Lannister.
Grey.
Christian Grey, yeah.
No, I was
He's
thinking of
he's
Jamie
from.
Lannister.
I think he's from Belfast. He's actually
I know,
Irish.
I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, fair.
why do
was I
that's not what he
picturing-
I
looks
just
like?
watched him
Did
in
he
a
not have
movie
blonde hair
with-
in this book? I was picturing like slick,
I think I thought I don't know why I pictured
like
reddish
dirty,
hair.
dirty blonde hair is what I was picturing.
I pictured Mike.
Oh, well, that's cute. I pictured Jamie Lannister.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's too pretty.
he's not that pretty.
you didn't like my Jamie Dorian?
I like that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't like that guy.
Stop.
I think
Stop.
Suki Waterhouse is who I'm thinking of for the girl.
What? Like from True Blood?
That's Suki Stackhouse.
Keep in mind she's
No.
brown, so don't show me a white girl.
She's not Indian.
I swear if you
Oh.
show,
English.
yeah, you're showing me a white girl, aren't you?
You're right. It is a white girl.
You do this every time.
Fuck.
Fuck. Okay, well, that's really.
I'm not good with actors. If I was better with actors, I'd give you.
I'm
But
try-
I'm so bad at them.
Oh, maybe the girl Jasmine from Aladdin. Fuck, I forgot her
who was
name.
in the new Charlie's Angels?
Maria, I
Yeah.
feel like if you were a witch, you would be in every single secret society, and you would be so.
I'd be a primrose baby. I'd be in there every day, making sure we all have our
You
little
would
wine
be
and cheese.
Primrose. You would be
But I'd make sure we're all allowed to be together.
I think that you might actually be a witch, though.
Listen,
I think in a past life, like Salem vibes, I think you were.
I was burned at the stake.
I
Probably.
really do think that because
No,
there's fire in your eyes sometimes.
That's just
what I-
my
like, you're-
rage.
like,
That's
you're
just my
fierce.
female rage.
No, it's like you're fierce, baby.
No, there. Thank you. You're so sweet.
Yeah, no problem.
I will say, like, watching Halloween Town, I got reminded of how much I wanted it as a kid. Of like,
God, I
I
can't
want
wait
to
to
be a
talk about
witch
that movie.
so bad.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know if you guys did this when you were younger, but I have memories of me as a freshman in high school. No, 8th grade. Meeting up with my best friend from 8th grade. His name was Jonathan.
Did you guys do
We
posters?
tried to spell. The way I would sit there and be like,
Damn it,
do
8th grade.
something. 8th grade. I knew better.
We were like smoking cigarettes and.
Oh no, I was just trying to make a little flame turn on my candle.
I
Yeah,
love you
she's
so
perfect.
much. I love
Oh
you.
yeah, I love her.
She's
beautiful.
literally the Indian.
What's her name?
Suki Waterhouse.
Suki Stackhouse.
No,
Oh, she's
Waterhouse.
beautiful.
I know, but I
She
keep
looks
hearing
familiar.
Suki Stackhouse.
Yeah, I keep hearing Suki Stackhouse.
She's
too.
been in a few things lately.
Yeah, she had her like jump when it was.
She wasn't in Blue Beetle, was she?
No,
she's
that
Power
girl's
Rangers.
Brazilian.
Oh.
Aladdin, Power Rangers,
Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels.
Oh, the Power Rangers girl. I really like her. Actually,
Okay.
a lot. Did you watch the Power Rangers movie?
No.
It's actually really good.
Is it?
I think you would
I
like
think
it.
I'm just so ingrained in what I was watching in the 90s that I don't want
That's
anyone
fair.
else to give me a new imagery. I like the campiness of the old
Well, it's still
Power Rangers.
It's
No.
good. I like the guy in it.
It's not going to be as campy as it was in the 90s.
Anyway, Irregular Witches. That's it. Does
that
anybody
was my.
any closing thoughts?
I think I crushed.
Terracotta. Would you prefer poison or decapitation?
You're
I
literally
think I
Terracotta.
crushed that fan cast.
Yeah, you did
You did
good.
great.
Thank you everybody for listening. If you want to follow us on Instagram, just look up Books and Betches. That's books_ed_Betches. BETCHES. Click the
I'm
links.
still looking at all these like things. I'm sorry.
No, it's
Go ahead.
okay. Click the links in the link tree. And go on to YouTube and subscribe.
YouTube.
All right, we love you all so much. Thank
Bye.
you for listening. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye bye.